Hello ladies and gentlemen and everyone beyond, I am BabyNoobCakes, and this is the first episode of Twich Prime Free Game Reviews, and in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at one of the free games available from February 3rd to March 2nd, White Knight. This game came out in 2015 and is pretty much available on any and every platform, but I had never heard of it at all. So now, let's attempt to answer the question, as one of the free games of the month, was it worth it? Mechanics. First and foremost, White Knight is a survival horror game, in the same vein as Resident Evil or Alone in the Dark. In White Knight, you are a trench coat wearing man, alone in the dark, with only a pack of matches to help light your way. The matches are pretty much your only source of light in the house. Without them, you will succumb to the darkness and the madness it hides. Also, they do act like real matches. Some of them don't strike right away, some burn out rather quickly, and others are duds and never light at all. There are also some unreliable electric lights and a few candles littered throughout the house, and they are the only safe havens in the otherwise treacherous darkness. There are a number of diary entries to find throughout the house, and luckily, you are allowed to take your time reading them, and your matches won't burn down while you have them open to read. But at all other times, you're at the mercy of matchlight. The only other weapon you have at your disposal is your own wits, as you solve various puzzles throughout the mansion to progress further and further into its depths as you search for help and for answers. Finding keys will open doors, but always know that the ghosts of the house are lurking and will attempt to stop your progress and protect their secrets. And if they attack you, your only option is to run for your life. Art style. I feel like I don't even need to say much in this category, because you've been looking at the game up until now. You already know how good it looks and how amazingly stylized it is. It not only captures the noir style of storytelling perfectly, but also enhances the feeling of being caught in a dark house, all alone. The tutorial tells you that being in the dark is dangerous, but it doesn't really need to. While playing, you just know, because you can't see anything, except for a few outlines here and there. This is definitely a very unique game in its presentation. There have been black and white styled games in the past, Limbo, Mad World, The Bridge, just to name a few. But I've never seen a game quite like White Knight. It uses the light and dark in not only the presentation, but to also accentuate the gameplay. Sound. The game combines eerie, atmospheric swells, clinging silence, and haunting jazz piano to fill out the soundtrack. The sound effects are sparse, but match perfectly with the overall feel of the game. The crunching of gravel beneath your feet, the crash of thunder outside the window, and the strike of matches are your only friends during your sleepless night in the Vesper Mansion. Replayability. White Knight will most likely occupy about 5 to 7 hours of your time, but it can't really be too much more, since there are a limited number of matches in the house, and you can't survive without them. There are a number of texts to find throughout the house that all reveal the past of the family that lived there, and these are the only collectibles you need to find to get a full 100%. Once you finish the game, though, you're pretty much finished with all of the narrative the game has to offer. Narrative. As with any other noir tale, the story is full of twists, turns, and secrets to uncover, so I'm only going to be able to give you a brief description of the beginning of the game, so as not to spoil it. You are a man who one night finds himself driving along a dark road, when out of nowhere, a girl steps into the road, causing you to crash your car. On the hunt for help, you drag yourself to a nearby mansion owned by the Vesper family. You are wincing with pain, but no one answers the door. You manage to get inside, though, only to have the doors slam shut and lock. Now you are locked in a dark house, with only a pack of matches and a pain in your side. There seems to be something ghostly lurking around every corner. All the while, you will be challenged. Can you survive the night? Find the help you need for your injuries?
What was it?
And one final question. Who is Selena? During your journey through the harrowing ordeal of the Vesper Mansion, be on the lookout for the various journal entries and photos of the previous residents. There are 3 main writers whose diaries and letters you will find. Margaret, the matron of the house. William, her son and heir to the Vesper business. And Selena, a Scandinavian jazz singer. The game takes place during the Great Depression era of the 30s, and you will also find newspaper clippings, which all have to do with the truly wretched state of America during this time. My opinion. This game truly blew me away. I'm incredibly surprised I've never heard of it before. During my entire playthrough of White Knight, I had goosebumps from the tension. This game has a fantastic atmosphere, and you really are helpless against the dark. It may sound a bit strange, but anytime one of my matches didn't light, it was one of the most tense moments I've ever experienced in a video game. I don't think that the footage of this game truly does it justice. You really need to be in the driver's seat to fully experience it. I loved the story too. Throughout the game, you uncover bits and pieces of the history of the people who lived in the house, and learn of their dark past. I'll admit that in most games that I play, when they have lore in text format, I'll usually just read the first few pages that I get, but after a while, I just want to get back to playing the game. I start skipping the massive amount of text they throw at you, and end up never coming back to read them. However, in White Knight, I read every single document I came across. Not only are they all very compelling, but most are pretty short, but always have a large amount of substance for being so short. And you're not being fed the information during any cutscenes, so not reading them actually hurts your understanding of the game. Was it worth it? If you're a fan of the old Resident Evil games, the old Alone in the Dark game on MS-DOS, a fan of noir storytelling, if you're a fan of classic survival horror, or if you've already fallen in love with the art style from what you've seen so far, this game will be right up your alley and will definitely be a worthy add to your collection. It was actually really hard to come up with a verdict for this game. I loved it. I loved my playthrough. But I know it's not for everyone. This game is an artistic spectacle, and admittedly would lose a lot of its impact had it been traditionally rendered. But I say, it would still stand up as a decent game, and a wonderfully creepy story. So I know that for a lot of people, this game won't match their taste in gaming, but for those brave enough to face the darkness, this game is definitely worth it.
Help me!
Also, don't forget to go onto the Twitch app and download your free games every month, or sometimes more often. Because hey, they're free, and sometimes you will end up with a few gems. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you later.